Oh, yeah. Is it Saturday already? Have we made it through yet another week of Star Wars news? Yes. Plot leaks. This is where the fun begins. Star Wars Starfighter, the movie starring Ryan Gosling, being directed by Shawn Levy. Don't know really anything about it. Well, all that changes today. The hype level for this movie went from 0 to 100 really quickly. Now, we got to talk about some other stuff too. Andor numbers have been revealed. It's Dave Filoni's birthday and Liam Neeson's birthday too, and we got some other fun Star Wars news to get to. But today, we're talking Star Wars Starfighter, which is really not what I'd think I'd be saying in June of 2025. But hey, that's just what happens. The news comes in mysterious ways, chat. So let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's it been doing on this fine Saturday afternoon / kind of evening? I don't know. When does the evening start? I don't know. But how's everybody doing on this fine Saturday day time? What's up, everybody? Okay, so let's talk a little bit of a fun Star Wars news today. I love me some plot leaks. The best time for Star Wars news is in between Star Wars shows. And the best thing that could possibly happen is plot leaks and casting for a upcoming Star Wars movie. But before we get to any of it, of course, as per usual, we must say hi to everybody in the chat. So let's do that, shall we? Aaron, what is up? John Groom in the house. Robert, how we doing? Holly, what is up? Brandon Baker in the house. Dustin Kennedy, what is up? Trent, how we doing? Melissa, how? Melissa, how? What's up? Fearless, how we doing? Darth Plagueis lives in the house. Greg, what is up? Steve, how's that lava chicken going? Nathan, what is up? Okay, if I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's give everybody a nice little...
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Okay, so we got... I love me some good Star Wars news. All right, so Star Wars Starfighter, when we talked about it in the past, it's really been like, who cares? Ryan Gosling in Star Wars, cool. Shawn Levy coming over to Star Wars, cool. It's a post-sequel time period, cool. But that's about it. We don't know anything about this movie other than those three things. And now, things just got a whole lot more interesting, as the future of Star Wars post-sequels seems to be coming together. Now, it could all be tied together, but we'll talk about that just in a little bit. But first things first, let's give a nice happy birthday in the chat to not only Dave Filoni, but Liam Neeson as well. So Qui-Gon Jinn and the apprentice himself to George Lucas, and hopefully soon, which we talked about last stream, and we'll talk about it a little bit more today, possibly the co-president, future co-president of Lucasfilm, Dave Filoni. So happy birthday to those two legends. Okay, but let's dive into this news, all right? Let's do that. Okay, so first things first, this all came from a Hollywood Reporter interview. So coming from very, very reliable sources. So let's just dive into it. Not only has the next Star Wars villain been cast, but it's a surprise to be sure. A welcome one? Well, that's up to us to discuss. Now, first, before I even start reading this article, I have to remind you that last stream we talked about how Mikey Madison, who won the Academy Award for Best Actress this past year, declined this role. Hang on, let me see if I can find this really quickly. Yes, take a look at this. So this is what we talked about last stream. Mikey Madison reportedly turned down the role of the villain in Shawn Levy's upcoming Ryan Gosling-led Star Wars Starfighter due to pay dispute. So that's what we were talking about last stream, was the bad news of them not being able to get the Academy Award winning actress. Don't even know who she is, don't even know the movie she won the award for, but still bad news. Now today, that whole news has been flipped on its head, as this mysterious villain role in the Shawn Levy movie has been cast. It's not Mikey Madison, but it's somebody else. So let's take a look at this. Star Wars' Mia Goth will now play the villain opposite Ryan Gosling in Star Wars Starfighter. So Mia Goth has joined Ryan Gosling in Star Wars Starfighter, the feature film from Shawn Levy. First things first, tell me in the chat. Do you know who Mia Goth is? Have you ever heard of Mia Goth, chat? Tell me in the chat, yes or no. Have we ever heard of Mia Goth? She looks something like this. And by something, I mean this is exactly what she looks like. This is a picture of her. She looks something like this, as you can see from the thumbnail of this video. Anybody know? Yes, no, yes, no, nope, yes, no. I haven't watched any of her work, unfortunately. Me either. So, nope, and she is perfect. Valid. Valid take. I've heard of her, okay. She's a wonderful actress, good to hear. No, I haven't heard of her, okay. She's married to Shia LaBeouf. I just learned that, Alexander, like 5 minutes before the stream started. Yeah. Literally 5 minutes before the stream started, I was looking up who the hell this lady is, and that's all I learned. Yeah. So here's the good news slash, I guess however you want to take it, good news, bad news, whatever. Mia Goth is a nobody. She's married to Shia LaBeouf. She's been in a handful of movies that I've never seen any of them. And that's about it. But in terms of Star Wars, that's great news. That's always how Star Wars has worked. We have Mark Hamill, we have Carrie Fisher, we have Harrison Ford, who are now all household names. Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, who are now all household names. Even Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, all now, John Boyega, still. Oscar Isaac. I guess Oscar Isaac had a little bit more of a career before. Either way, all household names now because of Star Wars. Ryan Gosling is a big-time actor. Probably A-list, top of the list actor in Hollywood right now. That's a big name to have attached to a Star Wars project. That's not usually how these things work. It's just not. You never have that, where a massive actor or actress is going to be the lead of your next Star Wars project. That's just not how the galaxy far, far away really works. However, with Star Wars Starfighter, things are different, and Ryan Gosling is the poster boy and hopefully going to draw in a lot of attention to this film. So Mia Goth is a nobody, and that's pretty consistent with the Star Wars universe. That's how things have been since day one, pretty much. So tell me in the chat, do you think this is a good cast, yes or no? And what are our thoughts on Mia Goth? Before we even read this article, before we even know what role she's going to play, before we even speculate about how this movie's going to go down, Mia Goth, yes or no? Good cast, bad cast, you tell me! And we got a super chat. Let me get to that super chat before we break down this article real quick. Oh my God, that's how you start off a stream. Darth Plagueis lives with a very generous $10 holla. Holy crap. Thought this movie wasn't supposed to be connected to anything. Oh, we'll get to that. Also, will Mia be a Force user? Oh. And happy birthday, Dave Filoni. And Liam Neeson, but yes, happy birthday, Dave Filoni. Will she be a Force user? Let's read the article. Let's just start by reading the article. Because I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out together. Let's do it. Ryan Gosling is leading the new feature project, which is expected to begin production this fall in England, this fall, and is scheduled to open May 28th, 2027. So next year, we got the Maul series, Maul Shadow Lord. We got the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which is May 22nd. And we got Ahsoka Season 2, which is likely to be after the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. But 2027, a year after the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, approximately 2 years from now, we will be getting Star Wars Starfighter. Okay? Details on this project are scant. Is that a word? Scant. Sure. But it does involve Ryan Gosling playing a character who must protect a young charge against evil persuaders. Chat, is this English? Okay, so the gist of this is he's going to have to protect his nephew, and I think it goes on to talk about that, but he has to protect his nephew from these evil persuaders, Mia Goth, and others, and who knows why, which we're going to speculate, he has to protect this young charge, and where he is taking this person. If this sounds very, very, very familiar, well, hang on to your hats. Not only is The Mandalorian pretty much the same exact plot, but so was The Bad Batch, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Lucasfilm had no comment. Surprise, surprise. They love to keep their secrets. The film is a standalone story. Keep that in mind, chat. What the hell? Standalone story. Keep that in mind. While I read this super chat from Holly. Holly with a very generous $5 holla. Damn, you guys are feeling generous today early. I would love to see her be a female Sith. Okay. Did someone say Darth Talon? Sorry, that was really loud. I apologize, chat. I don't know what got over me. Darth Talon! No, okay. We'll get to that. We'll get to it! Yes, a charge means a child under his care. I'm aware. I'm not that stupid. Maybe I am. I did know that, but I also am that stupid. So, you know, you can never tell with me. All right. But a standalone story, chat. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it.
I got a bad feeling about this.
A standalone story that will be unconnected to the so-called Skywalker saga. Keep that in mind. The stories centered on the stories that are centered around well-established characters like Luke Skywalker and his father, Anakin Skywalker. Spoiler alert. The events of Starfighter will take place approximately 5 years after the events of 2019's Rise of Skywalker. To quote Shawn Levy, this is a standalone. It's not a prequel. It's not a sequel. It's a new adventure. It's set in a time period where we haven't seen explored yet, post-sequels. And this is what he had to say at Star Wars Celebration in Japan. Mia Goth earned accolades and gathered a fan base thanks to starring in T. West's trilogy of horror movies, including X, Pearl, and Maxine with a bunch of X's. Sure. Has anybody in the chat seen these movies? Anybody? Tell me in the chat if you've seen these movies. I've never even heard of them. But she played several roles in stories set in 1910, 1970s, and 1980s. Interesting. This I have heard. So she is going to be in... she's going to be in the new Frankenstein movie that comes out very soon, I think. So this also has Oscar Isaac in it. It's... I don't know who this is, but sure. And she's also has a mystery role in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. So if anybody knows Christopher Nolan, I certainly hope you all do. His next big movie after Oppenheimer, which was last year. Was it last year or 2 years ago? Was Oppenheimer 2 years ago? That's crazy. Well, his next big movie is going to be The Odyssey. And it's a loaded cast. I mean, you got Tom Holland, you got Tom Holland. I can't think of a single other actor in this movie. John Bernthal, Matt Damon, and a bunch of other people. Who else is in The Odyssey, chat? There's a ton of stars. I just can't think of any of them off the top of my head. But The Odyssey is a Christopher Nolan movie. It's a loaded cast, and Mia Goth is going to be in this film, which is pretty damn wild. So, with that being said, the theories and speculation for what this role is going to be in the Starfighter movie have run wild, and some of them are really, really good. Also, the plot of this movie has, well, as we see here, started to come out a little bit more. And the coolest part about this is the fact that it's post-sequels in and of itself is just awesome. No more First Order, no more Resistance, no more Republic. What's going on in the galaxy? Rey's trying to build up her new Jedi Order. This is still 10 years before the Rey movie, technically. So is it going to be connected to that? Are we going to see some familiar faces maybe in terms of sequel trilogy characters, even though it's a standalone film and it's not connected to the Skywalker saga itself, meaning no Skywalkers involved, and Rey's technically a Skywalker. But the plot of this movie, seems to be right in front of our faces. And it all comes in this very, very short and sweet article. So let's talk about Mia Goth's character specifically. Zendaya is also in the Odyssey. Is she? I didn't even know that. Cool. But let's talk about this. First things first, Mia Goth. So this is her. Could she be playing a Force user? Let's start there. Actually, let's start with a poll in the chat. Let's start there. If you haven't smashed a freaking like in the stream, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. The Ultra New Republic. The New Republic, actually. She's probably a bounty hunter or a pirate. Interesting. Interesting. All right, let's do this. Is Mia Goth a good casting? Yes or no? Okay. Jedi Geek, what's up? How we doing? Mike, I just hope that this is a standalone story and has little, if any, connections to a trio of movies that I don't consider to be part of Star Wars canon. I'll take a Poe and Wedge feature, though. Well, here's the emphasis from Shawn Levy. This is a standalone movie. Not a prequel, not a sequel. It's a new adventure. And it's set in a time period where we haven't explored yet. 5 years after the sequels. So with Mia Goth set up to be the villain, with Ryan Gosling set up to be the lead, with the fact that it's called Starfighter, and he's protecting his nephew or whomever, this young charge, who he's in charge of. Get it? Charge. And protecting this person from the Persuaders, evil Persuaders, not Sith, not pirates, not bounty hunters, evil Persuaders. So take that how you will. It sounds oh so much like so many stories we've seen before, not only in Star Wars, but just in current pop culture, current media. And of course, the biggest one being this. Tell me in the chat if you recognize these two characters. You might not, okay? So bear with me here. Tell me in the chat if you recognize these two. Again, just if you don't, it's okay. Have you guys ever seen these two guys before? It is two people. There's one. See that little green dude right there? That's a person. Yeah, that's a guy. His name is Grogu, but people mistakenly call him Baby Yoda for some reason. I don't know what it is. You guys ever seen these people before? So the problem that seems to be coming up online is that this sounds so unbelievably close to this, to Din and Grogu. Not only did we get 3 seasons of Din and Grogu's wild adventures, but now we're getting them coming to the big screen. And that's going to be a whole new world on May 22nd, 2026, where these two are going to go on some crazy adventure together. Are we just going to see the same movie over again a calendar year later in May of 2027 with Star Wars Starfighter, with Ryan Gosling protecting a different green species, his nephew, and protecting him from whomever? Mia Goth, seemingly? That seems to be the issue right now, because many theories online are really, really good, and I like them a lot, and they sound like they could be a really good movie. I'll pull one up right now. I believe it's right. Hang on, Chad. Hang on, Chad. Oh, I want to open that up too. Yeah. Okay. That, and then. Yes. We have a theory about Star Wars Starfighter. The plot is described that Ryan Gosling's character, is playing a character who must protect his young nephew against evil persuaders. Shawn Levy revealed that the movie is set 5 years after the rise of Skywalker, and there are rumors that the sequel trilogy characters could appear in some sort of cameo-type appearances. And a report from several months ago revealed that multiple projects are in development about Rey. You guys remember that? We were talking about how Rey is connected to all these different projects moving forward, and we're going to see a lot more Daisy Ridley, and she's going to be sort of the anchor being, if you will, to all these different post-sequel projects that are coming out in the future. Not only the Rey movie, of course, but this Starfighter movie and probably the Simon Kinberg trilogy as well. She won't be a main character in all those movies, but she will be sort of a mentor type, maybe like an Obi-Wan-esque type of character. Or in the Starfighter movie, it could be, well, this. Also, at the end of the title reveal at Star Wars Celebration, a lightsaber hum can be heard. So what if Ryan Gosling is delivering a young Force-sensitive nephew to Rey to be trained? Now, this is where things get even crazier. Let me remind you of a character that you may not have thought about in the last 8 years. Do you remember this guy? This is a character that many fans were hoping to see become something, and it never happened. But about 8 years ago, I believe it was 8 years ago, right? When The Last Jedi was released. 8 years ago, we got this. Anybody remember this guy? Broom Boy, yes. Now, it seems like a pretty big stretch here to suggest that Broom Boy is going to be the main nephew character in this Starfighter movie. It would be a little on the nose. It would be very connected to the Skywalker saga like it says it's not going to be. So I really hope it's not. As much as I love me a good Broom Boy, I don't think it will be. However, it's going to be something along those lines. This is a Force-sensitive kid who's literally a Broom Boy on Canto Bight. So something similar to that. There's going to be somebody hunting down Force-sensitive kids. Again, this is all just speculation based off of the reports that we've been given, based off the leaks, based off of all that stuff. This is just speculation. So bear with me. Ryan Gosling's nephew is some sort of Force-sensitive child, and he's being tracked down, and maybe even his parents have been killed already because he's by himself and his uncle needs to help him out. So his parents may have been killed already, and he's being tracked down by these people who are hunting down Force-sensitive kids. Keep that in the back of your head. Somebody is hunting down Force-sensitive kids. And then the whole mission is to get him to Rey. Get him to Rey to start off the next Jedi Order, or at least maybe she's already started it out. I don't know. This seems like a very good idea to me. And here's why. The Rey movie was originally supposed to be the first Star Wars movie back in theaters since the sequels. That was a bad idea. So they immediately stopped that. They made the Mandalorian and Grogu movie come out first. The Starfighter movie's going to come out first. And who knows? Maybe it will be the next movie after that. Maybe not. We'll see. The Rey movie, just from its announcement, got a lot of crap online. Fans not very big fans of the Rey character and not wanting to see a continuation of her being the new lead of a Jedi Order. Makes sense. So what do? You still want to make the Rey movie. You still want to continue the character. You still want to have a new Jedi Order and show post-sequel stories. Well, you have to make it so that we care about characters going into that movie. So Starfighter, in a way, will be a standalone film, but it could be the Rogue One to A New Hope. It could be the lead up to the Rey movie, setting us up with good characters that we fall in love with that become characters in the Rey movie. Now, when I say the Rey movie, of course, that's the only thing we can really call it because Daisy Ridley's attached, and she's probably going to be one of the main characters. But I truly think that she won't be the main character. The Rey movie will be a setup for the future storytelling, a future characters that are not involved with the Skywalker bloodline. They're not involved with the Skywalker name at all. And she will just be the mentor. She will just be the Obi-Wan Kenobi type character. This will not be episode 10, 11, 12. This will just be a new story post everything else. And it seems to me, if these leaks and if these leaks and reports are to be considered true, then it would make sense that this is all just an attempt to make the Rey movie an easier pill to swallow, with better characters that we already know and love, possible setups of new villains for a threat. Mia Goth might be around for a while. Could she be our canon version of Abeloth? I seriously doubt it. However, she could be something else. So let's rewind a second. Who do we think Mia Goth is actually playing? A bounty hunter? Just some old bounty hunter? Evil Persuaders is the leak. Evil Persuaders. Tracking down a young child. Possibly Force sensitive, possibly not Force sensitive. It seems to me that they could do a lot of different things here with the character that Mia Goth is playing. First of all, new villains in Star Wars are very hard to pull off. Because if you're a villain in Star Wars, you're usually pretty damn iconic. You're Darth Maul, you're Darth Vader, you're Palpatine, you're Dooku, you're Grievous. You're somebody of great significance and awesomeness. You're Chimere. So to pull that off is very difficult. And for Mia Goth to come in a standalone movie and play a new villain, possibly Force sensitive. I mean, if she's playing Darth Talon, just don't even tell us anything else. Just say Darth Talon's the main villain of the next Star Wars movie, and that's all we need to know. But I don't think she will be, as much as it would be so insane, okay? If the Maul series comes out next year and sets up Darth Talon with Maul training her, she leaves Maul and goes off to the unknown regions or something and just disappears, and then comes back in the Starfighter movie a year later as the villain to Ryan Gosling?
This is where the fun begins.
I mean, at that point, yeah. I don't think that's what's going to happen here, though. As much as I would love to see that happen, I don't think it will. Oh, it would be so great. It will be so great. Lucasfilm, if you're watching, and we know that you are, this wouldn't be a connection to the Skywalker saga. Darth Talon's not connected to the Skywalkers at all. She'd make for a great villain. It would imply that the Sith have returned, though, already. Interesting. Because Palpatine's supposed to be all the Sith, and he dies at the end of the Rise of Skywalker. 5 years later, the Sith are back. You guys tell me in the chat. Do you think Mia Goth will play Darth Talon in Star Wars Starfighter? Or are you like, Mike, you're out of your goddamn mind? Take a chill pill and let's keep going. It would be insane. It would be insane. But you guys tell me, survivor of the Syndicate on Exegol, well, that would be a pretty big tie to the Skywalker saga. But honestly, I don't think any of those people were Force users on Exegol. They were Sith cultists. They weren't really. They didn't have the ability to do so. You know. She could be the parallel to Rey and have a dark side order. That would be really cool. There's nothing saying that there wasn't some sort of Sith order out there somewhere that wasn't involved with Palpatine. Now, you would assume that Palpatine would sense that in the Force, but maybe it was later on in his life after he had already died and then come back, possibly. Or maybe it's a new Jedi Order, too. That could be a possibility, too. An evil-ish Jedi Order. That'd be pretty wild. So, well, it would be crazy if there was two Jedi Orders being built at the same time, and one was more like corrupted and sort of with the dark side, and then Rey would have to combat that with her Jedi Order. Maybe she doesn't want to make a Jedi Order, but she's forced to. I don't know. Or better yet, because fans really don't like the character of Rey, why not have Ryan Gosling be taking this possible Force-sensitive nephew to Finn? Bring back John Boyega. Imagine how great it would be if the end of this Starfighter movie where Ryan Gosling escapes Mia Goth's character is somehow, some way, whatever the whole actual plot of the movie is, by the end of the movie, he brings his nephew to the person he's been looking for this entire time, and it's Finn? Finn with the lightsaber, better yet? Using the Force? Being like, hello there. He pulls out his lightsaber, like, pff, come on. Come on. Okay. Yuzhan Vong. Well, you could bring in the Vong or the Grisk. The Grisk are probably more likely, but that would be kind of cool. Having her being the leader of some sort of ancient, or not ancient, but some sort of new species from the unknown regions, that would be kind of cool. Where's Jason Syndulla? I don't know, Ken. I don't know. I'd love to know too, but I don't know if we're going to find out at that point. I think Jason might die to Thrawn, but that's, just me making great death predictions as per usual. Yeah. But it's standalone. True. The idea is that it is a standalone movie, but that's still a standalone film. Like you would say that Solo and Rogue One are both standalone films. That's what they were marketed as. That's what they are. They're just spin-off standalone films. But Rogue One sets up A New Hope. It's a standalone movie. You can watch Rogue One by itself, and it makes sense. It's a full plot, character arcs. They become heroes. They have conflict. They save the day, and we get the Darth Vader hallway scene. It's great. It's great. But it is a standalone film. So this could do the same thing. This Starfighter movie could be the setup for what comes next, but it's still a standalone movie. Ryan Gosling won't be in the Rey movie. At least I don't think. And I think Mia Goth will. But a lot of the characters that will probably be in this Starfighter movie will not continue. But maybe one will. Maybe it's Mia Goth's character, or maybe it's even his nephew. I don't know. It is a little very on the nose when you compare it to not only these characters, but also Omega and Hunter. The father-son, father-daughter, father-nephew trope has been seen so many times throughout Star Wars, especially in recent past with Disney Plus, that it seems very repetitive. So hopefully, if it is that same sort of feel of father-son type deal with uncle-nephew, that it is different enough to not just feel like another Mandalorian or another who knows what. And we really don't know what role even Ryan Gosling's going to be playing in this movie either. Because when you think about it, it's called Starfighter, so you assume he's going to be a starfighter pilot. But at the time in this galaxy, 5 years after the rise of Skywalker, there's no First Order. There's no anything. So who is he a starfighter for? Just himself? I don't know. You tell me in the chat. I like the idea of Talon. I would love it. I would absolutely love seeing Darth Talon. It would be really weird to see non-Force users go up against the Sith Lord. If you can even consider her a Sith Lord. I don't know. Just think about how back we would be. Because everybody loves to say Star Wars is back. Think about how back we would be if next year we get the Maul series that introduces Darth Talon and then she leaves Maul for some reason or another and goes off into hiding or goes off into the unknown regions or disappears for some reason somehow. Then we get the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which sets up Ahsoka Season 2. And Ahsoka Season 2 sets up Abeloth in Dave Filoni's Heir to the Empire movie and possibly a Mando trilogy. But also, the following year, we get the payoff of Darth Talon leaving Darth Maul and the continuation of the legacy of Darth Maul in a post-sequel world, as Talon is now the main villain Sith-type character in this galaxy, chasing down Ryan Gosling's whoever and his nephew. It could even perfectly set up the Rey movie with Finn or Rey at the end of the movie being dropped off at the growing Jedi Temple. Maybe the first apprentice at the temple. Oh, it would be so great. Everything would be so interconnected for at least 2 or 3 years, and it would feel like every project matters for one reason or another, and it's connected from 70 years before to all the way after. And then bring on Dawn of the Jedi, where you'll feel connected for 25,000 years. Yeah, it'd be great. I still think villains will be pirates. It could be. I mean, she could be anything. Darth Talon is just my hopes and dreams. She could be a pirate. She could be a bounty hunter. But that begs the question, why would she be hunting a child? And why would the pirates be hunting a child? The Sith hunting children makes some sense, but pirates and bounty hunters, not so much. Yeah. Why not go the route of the Yuzon Vong and plant the seeds of them with agents acting on their behalf to eliminate Force sensitives? Again, that would be really, really cool, but there has been no signs of setting that up. Right now, the signs of setting up Darth Talon are very large, as the teaser trailer that was shown for the Maul series at Star Wars Celebration featured a Twi'lek Sith, or trainee, a Twi'lek apprentice to Darth Maul. And as we know, the Twi'lek apprentice to Darth Maul is Darth Talon. So that's already been set up. The Yuzon Vong right now have not really been set up at all. Actually, they haven't been set up at all. You got Ahsoka setting up Abeloth. You got Maul setting up Talon. You got all these different setups, but none of those are the Vong, as much as I'd love to see them. Yeah. Anyone can be a Sith if they want to. There's no rules. True. Well, there was the rule of 2, but that's, I guess, not really kept in place by anybody now. Yeah. True. True. Do you think we will see films or TV shows based on the Old Republic in the future? Yes. I mean, the future is forever, so yeah. But in recent, or I guess in near future, I would say soon. Whatever soon means to you, that. Because we're going to the Dawn of the Jedi. So if that's done correctly and it has a very good response from the fandom, then Lucasfilm's going to see that as, okay, we can go to this Old Republic era, and fans will be okay with that. But the Old Republic is such a crazy thing to get into because it's just this insane amount of legends, content, and characters that fans already know and love so much that if you do something wrong, then it's, of course, going to be a big old deal. And yeah, we'll see about that. Who did Mia Goth... Wait, what? Oh, sorry. I think it's going to be a simpler villain like pirates or underworld bosses. Well, the underworld does make a lot of sense too, because if we're post-empires, post-republics, then the underworld might have a very strong hold on the galaxy, at least in the outer rim parts of the galaxy. So possibly. Mia Goth will surely be a villain, yes. She's badass and also has a classic Star Wars villainous British accent. Well, there you have it. Well, she's definitely going to be the villain. We know that for pretty much a fact. I mean, as much fact as we can get with these speculations and rumors. But yeah. Explore the Force. What's up? How we doing? If this will be like an MCU scenario and all 3 films of the series will be major events in the Rey film, then it wouldn't be surprised if it gets turned into episode 10. I don't think so. They're trying to disconnect from the Skywalker saga for a reason. They want those 9 films, or I guess 11 films, they want that time period in the Star Wars galaxy to be over and done with. Because you don't want to spread it too thin. You got characters, it's called the Skywalker saga for a reason. You got Anakin, you got Luke, you got Leia, you got Kylo Ren, I guess. Those characters, those Skywalkers, they don't want to just keep stretching it out forever and have to rely on that name. Because you're going to go 25,000 years before. You're going to go to the Old Republic. You're going to go to the future, and you don't want to rely on the Skywalker name to have to make a good Star Wars movie or show, for that matter. Yeah. So I don't think it'll be episode 10. No. Do we need another robot villain? You mean like Grievous or Vader? Well, those, I guess, were both living things inside the robots, but yeah. I'd love to see her with Darth Krayt. Well, then we get into craziness. So, if all goes right, if I were in charge of Lucasfilm, here's how I would plan out the next 3, 4, 5 years. Okay? The Maul series sets up Talon. You give us a Kenobi Season 2 that sets up Darth Krayt. You give us, what the hell's his name? Asherad Het. Thank you. I don't know why I thanked you. I came up with it on my own, chat. You were no help. No. Asherad Het, the Jedi Tusken Raider who becomes Darth Talon. So you give us Kenobi Season 2 to set up Asherad Het and Darth Krayt. And then you give us the Maul series to set up Darth Talon. They go off, disappear into the unknown regions, disappear to who knows where, and they come back post-sequel trilogy as the main villains, as a Sith cult, as a Sith group of multiple Sith lords. Then you get Rey to build up her Jedi Order, and we go back to having Jedi and Sith wars. That would be insane. And by 2030, you got the Rey movie, or probably the Rey movie 2, the second one, featuring Rey, where it's Jedi versus Sith again. Multiple Jedi versus multiple Sith. Darth Krayt, Darth Talon, and others versus Rey and her protege. It would be crazy because you can really do it well if you set up Talon with Maul in the series and set up Krayt in Kenobi Season 2. If you're looking for a plot for Kenobi Season 2, that's it. A Tusken Raider Jedi going around killing people, and Obi-Wan has to stop him, just like it happens in the comics. I mean, who wouldn't want to watch that? It would be awesome. Yeah. His name is Din Grogu. Oh, yes, true. My fault. I'm so sorry. Yeah. He could be a dark sider and not be a Sith. True. Any Force user can pick up a lightsaber and train in the dark side. Also true. And when you look at characters like Chimere from the Acolyte, you could see that, like, maybe he is the apprentice to Darth Plagueis. I mean, maybe we'll find out eventually. But he could have also just picked up a lightsaber, and he already had the training from Vanestra Rao and just have been a Sith Lord. Yeah. Sounds perfect. I have faith and hope Gosling will be a will be forfeit for this? 4 feet for this? I don't know what that means. No pirates and Darksiders, please. Honestly, this did give me hope. Because tell me in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for Star Wars Starfighter? Because to me, like a couple days ago, if you asked me that, I would have been like a 2. 3 maybe. 4 on a good day. But very, very low. Because that movie, although it's Ryan Gosling, although it's Shawn Levy, it's not connected to anything. It doesn't have any plot that we were aware of until now. And we didn't have any other castings. So now when you ask me today, it's a lot higher. A lot higher. I'd say probably a 7 or an 8 because of this information. Because not only do we got Mia Goth, who I've never even heard of before, but coming in as a female villain character, possibly Darth Talon, but as any female villain character. And now we have the plot that Ryan Gosling is protecting his nephew from these evil persuaders. Evil persuaders just screams Sith Lords to me. I don't know why, but I hear evil persuaders and I go, Sith Lords! You could have said bounty hunters. You could have said pirates. You could have said criminal underworlds, crime syndicates, anything. You said evil persuaders! So, that's got my hype level very, very high. Yeah. Sorry. Watch the X trilogy, X Pearl and Maxine. You'll get to see Mia's acting chops and watch the Infinity Pool to get to see her deviant side. Okay, maybe I will. Probably not. I'm not big into horror movies, but I will say that I'll definitely be watching The Odyssey that comes out next year. But when you look at her discography here, these are her movies. So these were the horror movies they were talking about, X, Pearl, and Maxine. Those are the 3 horror movies. They all came out in the same year? Okay. Infinity Pool, Cure for Wellness, haven't seen this. This comes out this year. I don't know if it's already out yet or if it's coming out soon. But that, yes, she's married to Shia LaBeouf. She's in something, Blade, that will never happen. The Odyssey there, again, hasn't come out yet. But when you look back, her earliest thing, 2014? Let's see. 2013, I guess. So she's fairly new to being around in big old movies. Fairly new. And like I said at the top of this live stream, That's pretty much what Star Wars has always been. Main characters, lead actors, lead actresses being just nobodies. Then they get turned into household names from Star Wars. Didn't know who Mia Goth was before today, and now I'll probably never forget who she is because she's going to be the new villain of a Star Wars movie. And when you talk Star Wars villains, it's just an endless list of greatness. So when you add on to that endless list of greatness with a new character for a new movie, I'm excited. Okay. I think Lucasfilm knows this needs to be a huge setup movie. Absolutely. That's another thing, too. They didn't just announce a Starfighter movie starring Ryan Gosling to just ride the coattails of Ryan Gosling. This movie actually has to be good. And I think it is. There's a reason that they saw the script from Shawn Levy and they said, let's make this movie now. It's the same thing that we were talking about when it came to Andor all those years ago and when we were talking about Skeleton Crew, too. When John Watts went to Dave Filoni on the set of Spider-Man No Way Home and said, I have this idea for a Star Wars movie, he said, Star Wars show, sorry. He said, let's make this now. That's a great idea, and it fits perfectly into our Mandoverse that we're creating right now. Let's make this now. And that's what happened. So I think the same thing can be said about this Shawn Levy movie. Not only could it possibly set up the Rey movie, which would be great because it needs all the help it can get with the Star Wars fandom thinking about Rey the way that they do, so it needs all the help that it can get. But it also might be that good. The script, at least, could be, and the idea for the movie is that good that not only did they get Ryan freaking Gosling to sign on, but they pushed it forward to be the next Star Wars movie, only after the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. So there must be something great about this movie that we just don't know about yet. Whatever the plot is, or the full-on actual plot, it must be pretty damn good. Whatever's going on, whatever greater story is happening in the greater workings of the galaxy, must be pretty damn good. Because when you look at the other two spin-offs that we have right now, Solo and Rogue One, both of those, well, one's a legacy character, Solo, and it's the origin story, but it connects to all these different things. It connects to the Empire. It connects to the criminal underworld. It connects to everything around it. Rogue One, now with Andor, it connects to everything. It's the growth of the rebellion. It's the taking down of the Death Star. It's all this great stuff. They're standalone films, but they connect to everything. So although Starfighter is a standalone film, it's going to connect to everything. Everything. I still got to add the everything button. I should probably get on that, right? Everything. Yeah. Jacob, what's up? How we doing? Jacob says, it would make sense for the underworld to flourish with the power void following the rise of Skywalker in the timeline, since it was just people who defeated the final order. True. It would make a lot of sense for the criminal underworld to take power. But let's not forget that George Lucas's original idea for the sequel trilogy, which, by the way, is a huge part of what the Maul series is going to be, about the criminal underworld, how Maul has taken it over and he's the new big bad. That might be what we're seeing here post-sequels. Because fans said, hey, we hear that George Lucas idea to have the criminal underworld be this big thing that Maul's in charge of and have the heroes have to take down that. We hear that and we think that's a great idea. We said that to Disney many, many times when we learned about those actual plots that George Lucas had for the sequel trilogy. We were like, that's a great idea. You should have done that. You should have made that happen. But now, since Darth Maul is dead and the sequel trilogy's already happened, you can still tell that story in a post-sequel world with a criminal underworld coming to power, with a Sith Lord or a red lightsaber wielder being in charge, Darth Talon being in charge, apprentice to Darth Maul. It can be the closest thing to what George intended to create in the first place. So all these different aspects of the sequel trilogy that George wanted in the first place, and fans now wanted, or want, are being attributed to different places now. The Maul series, possibly the Starfighter movie. Because yeah, there's a big old void in the galaxy right now. The underworld is going to eat that up. Hopefully. Yeah. No pirates, no hunters. Need a galactic scale setup. Absolutely. We're talking post sequels now. We need a good bad guy. We need a good story. We need a good conflict that rivals the Empire and Palpatine. That's very difficult to do. That's very difficult to accomplish. Palpatine's like the greatest ever. He played the entire galaxy, both sides of a war, for over 4 years. He was the leader of the Separatists. He was the leader of the Republic. He's that good. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Mia Goth is the next Palpatine, because that's ridiculous. But there needs to be a big old threat, and it needs to be of the level of an Empire or Palpatine. At least if you want to set up this future brightly. Yeah. Oh, Star Wars Jedi podcast with a $10 holla. Ron, that's insanely generous. I appreciate that. Says, I like the casting of Mia, but like we talked about last week, not a huge fan of the A-lister actors. I think that Ryan will bring in new fans to Star Wars. Well, the good news is Mia Goth is definitely not an A-lister actress. Like I said before, yes, Ryan Gosling's an A-lister actor, and that's weird. It is weird. It brings a lot of people to Star Wars, like you said, but it's strange because it's not something we're used to in Star Wars. It's just having big names. It's just not something that we'll ever get used to, I'm sure, because that's not something that really happens often. I guess the Acolyte brought in a few big names, and every once in a while they'll bring in a big name. I mean, side characters usually. You got people like, or not side characters, but not the main characters. Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan. Alec Guinness was an Academy Award winner at the time. He was enormous at during the original trilogy. The prequel trilogy, you got Samuel L. Jackson, biggest actor on Earth at the time. The sequels, I feel like very, very side characters were big stars. But I don't know. I don't know. But there's still been A-lister actors in Star Wars. That's more the point. But they're not the main characters. And in this scenario, Ryan Gosling is the lead. He's the main guy. He's the guy. So it's a little strange. Yeah, it is a little strange. But I appreciate the super chat, Ron. I really, really do. Super chats, memberships, keep the lights on over here. So I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah. What's your number one Sith? What's my number one Sith that I hope to become canon one day? Okay, that's a different question. My number one canon Sith right now has got to be Vader. Yeah, it's got to be Vader. But legends that I hope to become canon? Mine is Darth Nihilus. Taps into the horror aspect. Darth Nihilus is cool. I mean, when you got a Sith Lord that can eat entire planets, I mean, you're talking like Galactus here. Darth Bane. I mean, you can never go wrong with Darth Bane, but yeah, I'll go Darth Bane. Okay, gonna go Darth Malgus, but I'm feeling Darth Bane. I'm feeling Darth Bane today. Somebody was talking about the Bane trilogy, and I was like, yeah, you're right. We should make a Bane trilogy. And then I was like, okay, Darth Bane. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Where was I? Adam, what's up? How we doing? Mike. What's up, Charlie? Says Mia Goth is going to be the most excellent baddie. I hope so. Because really, when you look at Star Wars, you've had bad guys that are females. You have your Dedras, you have your Phasmas, you have your Asajj Ventresses. But this is like the main villain is this girl. So whether she's Darth Talon or whether she's some other character, that remains to be seen. If she's Darth Talon, I mean, again, everything is off the table there if she's Darth Talon. But I could see it. I could definitely see it. Needing her to be a big old baddie. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Starfighter or Star Wars story? I don't think it will be called Star Wars Star Wars story. Star Wars story. A Starfighter Star Wars story. I'm very intrigued about Starfighter as long as it's its own animal and has little to nothing to do with the sequel trilogy. If Rey shows up, it's a failure. I disagree. I completely disagree. I think if it is a setup for the Rey movie and it's done correctly, if it's a Rogue One epic event that sets up a Rey movie, imagine. Like, we just got over the fact that Andor just made Rogue One even better. And Rogue One already makes A New Hope even better. And A New Hope didn't need to be made better. Like, that's the world we live in right now. The greatness of Star Wars, A New Hope, in the original trilogy, is being made better. Somehow. 45 years later. That's craziness. So if Star Wars Starfighter, and I'm talking a big old if because that's a very hard task to accomplish, is the Rogue One to the Rey movie being A New Hope. Those are two very bold statements right there. But if that is the case, then it should connect to the Rey movie. It actually must connect to the Rey movie. Yeah. Do you think we'll see the droid story one day? No. That's gone. That's gone. Shawn Levy could do some horror elements. He did a lot of Stranger Things. Okay, let's talk Shawn Levy for a second. Shawn Levy not only gave us great episodes of Stranger Things, gave us Deadpool and Wolverine, gave us, well, actually, let's look it up. Shawn Levy, movies and shows. So not only did he give us Deadpool and Wolverine, Free Guy, Night at the Museums, Real Steel, of course, Star Wars Starfighter, The Internship, Adam Project, more Night at the Museums, Cheaper by the Dozen, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The Arrival. Wait, he did The Arrival? How did I not know that? The Arrival's like a top 10 movie for me. How did I not know? Is this real? Are they just playing with me, Chet? Yeah, this is a lie. I was going to say. I don't think so. I would have known if he'd done The Arrival. We're being lied to, Chet. Maybe he worked on it in some capacity. Now I gotta know. Shawn Levy. Oh, he was a producer. Wait, what? Oh, he produced on the film Arrival. Okay, he was a producer. Never mind. So he worked on the movie, but he was not. Yeah, okay. Never mind. Where was I? Sorry. If you haven't seen The Arrival, unbelievable movie. So, again, great movies. Great movies. And let's go to television. Stranger Things. Okay. Seems to be his only. I mean, I don't know any of these other things. So, Stranger Things. So, he's got quite the discography. He's got quite the catalog. I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to make us a great Star Wars movie, especially when you give him Ryan Gosling and maybe even Darth Talon. Like, it's insane. It's insane. So I really hope he brings his aspects of Stranger Things over to Star Wars. That'd be great. That would be great. Yeah. It is rare, but I have a feeling that Gosling is going to be the main character, but more of the driving force for the younger character that will become have a bigger role, later on. Yeah, I could see that. I could see it being a Ryan Gosling movie that transfers over to this character that he's protecting being more important than him. I could honestly see it being a one and done for Ryan Gosling, like his character dies by the end of the movie, making a sacrifice play. Then it would really be like Rogue One. If he's sacrificing himself like Cassian and Jyn Erso to save this kid, I mean, you're talking very much like the Rogue One to the New Hope of the Rey movie. Yeah. Indeed. The Arrival is amazing. Yeah, it is. My daughter loves Rey. Nice. Define correctly, Mike. Define correctly. Correctly is a word that, if used correctly, can correctly correct the correctly. Define correctly. The train for a correct rendition of Rey left the station 8 years ago. Then Shawn Levy is a liar if this movie exists just to beef up the sequel trilogy. I don't think it's set up to beef up the sequel trilogy. It is going to be a standalone story of Ryan Gosling protecting this child from maybe Darth Talon, maybe pirates, maybe the underworld, whomever, but Mia Goth and evil persuaders. So he's going to protect this child, his nephew, from the evil persuaders, and that will be the entire plot of the story. It'll be this great action adventure, Starfighter, must be some space battles in a starship somehow, some way, and that will be the whole plot of the story. The only connection to the sequel trilogy would be if Rey shows up at the end. And that wouldn't really be beefing up the sequel trilogy. It would be setting up the Rey movie. And it would only make sense that this kid is being hunted down if he is Force sensitive. I mean, why else would anybody else in the galaxy want a child? Doesn't really make much sense either. So, unless he's Force sensitive, which does make sense, and that would make sense if Ryan Gosling is trying to get him to a safe place for a Force-sensitive child, and that safe place would be with Finn and Rey in their new Jedi Order. So the whole plot of the movie is going to be completely disconnected from the sequel trilogy, but maybe just the last couple frames, like Vader showing up in the hallway scene, or Leia saying, "This is Hope," when she gets the Death Star plants at the end of Rogue One, that will be the extent of the connections to the sequel trilogy, and it'll be an extension to the Rey movie. Yeah. Yeah. Harrison Ford, A New Hope, I believe, is already an A-lister actor. No. Harrison Ford had only done American Graffiti by the time of A New Hope, and American Graffiti did not perform well. And his role was very, very small. So he was nowhere close to being a big actor. However, by the time of Empire and Return of the Jedi, he was a massive actor because Star Wars and Indiana Jones. So he became an A-list He became an A-list actor because of Star Wars. Yeah. What number is Arrival for you in your top 10? Better yet, what is your top 10? Oh. I don't actually have a top 10 like written down. Top 10 movies all time. I know Arrival is definitely in it, but that's so difficult. I'll tell you, I'll get back to you on that, okay? Peter, I'll get back to you on that. Yeah. Superman looks great, coming from a person who watched Superman the movie first run as a kid. Oh, Superman, the new Superman? Yeah, Superman does look good. I'm giving it a chance. I liked Henry Cavill's Superman, not gonna lie. But Corn Sweat looks pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm hoping for the best. I mean, DC's just been in shambles for years. I want them to succeed. I really, really do. Yeah. Dark Sky, what's up? How we doing? I think they can work with Gosling to set up a bigger movie to come. I think it's more likely that Gosling's going to die. He's such a big-time actor that paying him to be in Star Wars is honestly going to cut down the budget quite a bit. So however he helps this kid get to wherever he's trying to go, his nephew, he's probably going to die in the process, sacrificing himself to get this kid a future. It would be very symbolic because Rey's parents sacrificed themselves to protect her. If this kid's uncle sacrifices himself to protect him, then they'll already have that connection. The new Jedi Order is not going to be no relationships, no connections emotionally, because that was clearly the downfall of the original Jedi Order that we see in the prequel trilogy, and that's just not how it should go again. Yeah. I'm not a huge Gosling fan, but I'm sure he'll do fine. I mean, yeah, Gosling's great, but I hope he does really, really good in Star Wars. Yeah. Broom Boy is his dad? No, it would take too long. Broom Boy is in The Last Jedi and he's still a boy. This is only like 6 years later. No, I don't think so. Mike, have you seen Interstellar and did you like it? Yes, Interstellar would be in that top 10. Actually, when I was thinking like what would be my top 10 that aren't Star Wars movies, Interstellar is probably towards the top of that list. I love the mics. Yeah. 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 I wish they would just do an Old Republic movie. Okay, I agree with you. But the Old Republic is going to take time and a lot of it. Like, you have to do the Old Republic correctly. So it's going to be sagas. Not just one saga, sagas. That means like 18 movies, multiple shows, animated shows, live action shows, comics, the whole last 50 years of Star Wars that we've had. The next 50 years would have to be all Old Republic. Like, you have to do it right, you know? And they're not ready for that. They got to finish the Skywalker saga first, and then we can go to the Old Republic. Yeah. Indeed. American Graffiti was a hit. What are you talking about? Well, American Graffiti barely got played in movie theaters. George Lucas tried. He tried a lot to get it into movie theaters, and it didn't work. This is some really good interviews that came out fairly recently over the last couple of years with George Lucas talking about that. It's really good because he's like, we screened it 1 million times to all these people. They absolutely loved it, but the Hollywood studios wouldn't allow us to put it into theaters across the world. So it would be only put into select theaters. It would do pretty well, but it still wouldn't be well enough to put it into more theaters. It's just this whole round and round they went. American Graffiti is a good movie, don't get me wrong, but it definitely was not a hit in the theaters. Yeah. At the end, Gosling will find Rey at a selected planet, and her hand will be and hand her a yellow saber, and she'll toss it behind her. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, funny, hilarious. No.
Incorrect.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Deadpool and Wolverine is trashed.
Incorrect.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Deadpool and Wolverine is trash. Story-wise, okay. Story-wise.
Incorrect.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So.
Incorrect.
As I was saying, Mia Goth, let's see what you guys said in this poll, by the way. Do you think Mia Goth is a good cast? 83% of you say yes. Okay. Interesting. Again, before today, I'd never even heard of her. So I think she's a good cast. She looks the part. I love seeing a nobody actor or actress come into Star Wars and become a big old name. And if she's going to be the next villain in Star Wars, she better be somebody important. She better be good, because we've gotten some damn good villains in Star Wars recently. Baylan Skoll, Shin Hati, Grand Admiral Thrawn. I know Grand Admiral Thrawn was in Legends before, but still. Grand Admiral Thrawn. Chimere. Like, we've gotten some really, really good villains lately. I guess you could say Jod Na is a villain, kind of, in a way. But even still, great villains recently, and I need the streak to continue. I need her to be a great villain. If she's Darth Talon, I'll lose my freaking mind, but I need her to be a great villain. So, do that. But with that being said, we do have some other news to get to here, and we just spent over an hour talking about that. So let's keep on going. So we talked about Dave Filoni and Carrie Beck last stream, but let's just give it a little bit of a recap for people who weren't here or people who missed it. So the new news, because it's Saturday, it's the end of the news week. Let's recap here. The new news this week, and the biggest headline of the week, probably other than this Mia Goth stuff, is that Dave Filoni and Carrie Beck are reportedly the current candidates to be co-presidents of Lucasfilm after Kathleen Kennedy stepped down. A wide-ranging story on Hollywood Reporter covers all the succession of Hollywood and Disney being a big one. Well, let's talk about this. So, yes, the story back then had already positioned Dave Filoni as a main candidate, blah, blah, blah. Yes. The time of Kennedy's departure still remains uncertain. She told Deadline back in February that an exit announcement was months or a year down the road. A recent report says that she'll be leaving that she will be leaving in August was struck down by Kathleen Kennedy and Disney. So it seems like she will stay until the fall at least. And it would make sense that the company is currently preparing for new feature films to go into production, like Shawn Levy's Starfighter, starring Ryan Gosling. Carrie Beck has been a longtime collaborator with Dave Filoni, executive producing on animated series like The Bad Batch, Clone Wars Season 7, and also live-action shows like Ahsoka, The Mandalorian Season 2, etc. Also, she's been a co-producer of The Mandoverse among them. So that was the big news about the future co-presidents of Lucasfilm replacing Kathleen Kennedy. So if you missed that, that was a big old thing. Just wanted to touch on that really quickly. Okay. So, oh wait, shit. I mean poop. I mean crap. I mean shucks. Hang on. Hang on, chat. Hang on. Wait, what? Why do this? No, don't do that. No. No! No! My article is gone, chat. Oh, here we go. Wait. Aha, there it is. Okay. So, yes. Let's talk about this. So the Andor numbers are out, okay? Andor sets third consecutive series high on the Nielsen streaming charts. The 4 seasons takes number 1. So the concern with Andor Season 2 and the concern with Andor Season 1, I guess, was the viewership numbers. And now, go away. And now we finally got some numbers for Andor Season 2. It takes a while for these numbers to come out, so it took like 3 weeks, but here we are. So let's zoom in on this a little bit here. Oh, wait, that's too far. Nope, no, actually, that's pretty good. Andor hit another series high in the lead up to its final episodes. Oh, wait, so this is the episodes before? Interesting. So this is not even the final finale. This is still episodes 7, 8, 9. Interesting. With 830 million minutes viewed from May 5th to May 11th. So in that 5-6 day span, 830 million views. The Star Wars series came in at number 5 on the Nielsen streaming list, continuing its growth trajectory since the season 2 premiere. Interestingly, Nielsen says that since the second season premiered on April 22nd, Andor has been the most watched streaming title among Asian viewers by a significant margin, with a total of 215 million viewing minutes generated by that demographic alone. Interesting. Number 1 on the overall list during this interval went to Netflix's The 4 Seasons. I've never even heard of this. Have you guys heard of The 4 Seasons? Anybody? Which managed 1.16 billion minutes watched. I've never even heard of this show. Netflix also secured the second place spot with You. I have heard of You. Not watched it, but I've heard of it. Marking the series' third billion-minute watch week since the final season was released. Wow. While most of the viewers for You went to new episodes, Nielsen also reported that season 1 had been generated. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Who cares about this? Blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Poker face. Blah. Okay, this is what we want. So here's Andor on the list. Number 5 for overall top 10 with 830 million. In the episodes, there's 21 of them, I guess, at the time, because there's 24 total. But 21 had been released at that time. So that's how many people had watched Andor in these 5-6 days. And then for originals, it was number 3, only behind You and 4 Seasons. So what else was behind? Bluey and Grey's Anatomy, of course, still up there. Bluey's a kid's show that just is on constantly in a bunch of people's houses because it's a kid's show. And Grey's Anatomy, people keep on binging that show for some reason. But it's number 3 on the originals list and acquired top 10. I don't know what that means. But it's not on this list. It should be. I don't know what that means. The movie top, okay, that doesn't matter. This is the one we're looking at. Number 5 overall with 830 million minutes watched. So that sounds great and all, but what is this compared to other projects? Okay? What is that compared to other projects? So I pulled this up as somebody so generously made this episodes, minutes watched thing on Reddit for different Star Wars projects, or at least the ones that were released publicly. And these are the numbers of minutes watched. Clearly, The Mandalorian Season 2 beats out all the other shows by a lot, actually. As you can tell, with all these minutes watched, The Mandalorian is clearly the biggest show for Disney on Disney+, and that's why it's getting a movie, but it's very big. Now, when you look at the Book of Boba Fett, the numbers start to drop. You're at almost 400 million minutes there. You're at 500 million, 500 million, 500, almost 600, 700, almost 800, and over almost 900 there. Now, what you have to take into account here when you're comparing this to the 830, that is Andor Season 2, is that Andor gives us 3 episodes. So the 3 episodes of Andor Season 2, episodes 7, 8, and 9, are more than the single episodes that released of the Book of Boba Fett, except for the finale. For the Kenobi series, well, it was a big old premiere. Like, everybody stopped what they were doing to watch that. Numbers did drop off towards the end. I guess the finale bumped up again, but it did drop off in the middle. The Kenobi series had far more viewers than Andor, except for in the middle here, but even still, that's 1 episode versus Andor's 3. Now, when we compare it to Andor Season 1, well, the first 3 episodes of Andor Season 1, its premiere, are over 200 million minutes less than the 3 episodes 7, 8, and 9 of Andor Season 2. And when we look here, again, this is how low these numbers are. You got 350, 400, 400, 380, 400. I don't know what DNQ means. Oh, did not qualify, maybe? I don't know. 420, 455, and 600. I guess a semi-big ending. But still, not a lot of people watching Andor Season 1. And that seems to be the case for a lot of it. And then you go on to the other ones. But when you compare it to Andor Season 1, it is a lot more. And that's pretty damn good. Did not qualify? That's what I thought. So that's pretty damn good, because we expected the viewership numbers to go a lot more, especially with Season 2 and Season 1 being so good. But the numbers are actually out, and we actually get to see that that's the reality. That Season 2 of Andor is beating out Season 1. Now, still, it's 3 episodes versus 1, so the math is kind of not really mathing there. But when you look at the 3 episodes of Andor Season 1, it's still a lot more than that. So the audience has grown, and let's not forget that episode 8 and 9 of Andor Season 2 were just masterpieces, so that also helps. But the numbers have definitely grown, and number 5 on the Nielsen charts is pretty damn good. Number 3 for originals that week too. I wonder, as we're going to see next week, what the finale is. I wonder if it's going to be more. It should be more. The finales of these shows usually tend to be more, but I wonder if he'll crack that 1 billion. Pretty interesting, because I don't think we've really cracked that 1 billion since, what, Mando Season 3 maybe? Possibly? I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. But that's pretty cool. Andor numbers still coming out. Actually, we did have another Andor thing I wanted to get to here. See if I can find. Oh, yeah. So Star Wars posted a couple things Andor related. Check this out. So still, after Andor Season 2 has ended, they're still trying to hype it up for Emmy nominations and just to get more people to watch it because it's awesome. But, wait, what? Oh, here we go. But they released 2 new trailers, I guess, for Andor Season 2. So check these out. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. So this one came out yesterday, 2 days ago maybe. And this is sort of a don't miss out on Andor. You must watch this immediately type deal, as you should. It makes me want to go rewatch Andor Season 2. So take a look at this.
I've a constant blur of plates spinning and knives on the floor and needy, panicked faces at the window.
All you know now is how much you hate
When do we start fighting back?
You bank that, you hide that. You keep it alive until you know what to do with it.
Make 10 men feel like 100.
Gorman, Scarif, Kyber, Krennic, Galen Erso. Say it.
We cannot stay here, Clea.
We made our choice.
Had to be done.
It was really crazy that by the end of this show, Clea became like the main character. Like this final 3 episode arc, especially that episode 10, she really was just the main character for that whole episode. As much as I love Luthen, because he is my favorite character from the entire series, she stole the show there. Late in the game, she swoops in and we're like, okay, wait. Now when you go back and watch the entirety of season 1 and season 2, you look at the character of Clea completely different. Because she was just the assistant to Luthen for a while, and that's all you really thought of her. And then she becomes this important character, for lack of a better word. Yeah. But there was one other one that I wanted to show you guys. It was from a couple days ago. Ah, yeah, this one. Wait, was it? No, not that one. Never mind, not that one. It was this one. Yeah. This one's even worse. And by worse, I mean heart-wrenchingly worse.
I love. I want to be brave, but I can't. If you ever gave this up for me, I'd never forgive myself. We have to win. We have to beat them. And I believe you have purpose in making that happen. I need to believe that. So I'm choosing for the both of us. I'm choosing the rebellion. And when it's done, when it's over, and we've won, we can do all the things we ever wanted. Everything we know we've missed. I'll find you.
Why are they going to do this to us? Chat? Oh, come on. Come on. Should we watch it again? Should we watch it again? Oh, when she goes, when this is all over, when this is all said and done, you can find me, and we'll, you know, we'll live a happy lives. Oh, devastating.
I love. I want to be brave, but I can't. If you ever gave this up for me, I'd never forgive myself. We have to win. We have to beat them. And I believe you have purpose in making that happen. I need to believe that. So I'm choosing for the both of us. I'm choosing the rebellion. And when it's done, when it's over, and we've won, we can do all the things we ever wanted. Everything we know we've missed. I'll find you.
No, you won't. You will not be finding Cassian. Oh, devastating. Devastating. So good. So freaking good. Come on. Oh. Did somebody say rewatch Andor season 2? Because I might have to. Might have to, chat. Might have to. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Okay. Where were we? Damn it. Damn it, chat. That's heartbreaking. Okay. Okay. Speaking of Bix, recently she was asked. Actually, this is a whole interview. Let's do this instead. Instead of just reading that one snippet, let's read the whole thing. Why not? Why is this article the way that it is? Why is this the way that it is? Why are you the way that you are? All right, let's read this. Why not? Andor's, is it Adria? Adria wears her Star Wars love on her sleeve, her forearm, actually. So this is a pretty cool story. Let's zoom in one here. Why does it do that? It cuts off the entire screen. Whatever. Adria really let her Andor role, the troubled, tortured freedom fighter Bix Caleen, get under her skin, quite literally. She added a stick and poke tattoo representing Bix on her forearm while wrapping up production of the series. But it's her character and the opportunity to shift the paradigm, sure, of the beloved Star Wars universe that truly made the indelible impact on the actress. Indelible impact on the actress. Sure, that's English. Gold Derby was joined. Who's Gold Derby? Gold Derby was joined. Oh, this is the article. It's the people writing the article. Gold Derby was joined by Adria on the red carpet at FYC event celebrating the series at the Writers Guild Theater in Beverly Hills, where she reflected on what Andor meant to her and how her longtime fandom of the franchise fueled her ability to deepen and darken corners of Star Wars in chilling ways never seen before, and what she hopes the future might hold for both her and for Bix in the galaxy after Andor. So before we keep reading this, because she's going to get into it in a second, what do you think are the possibilities? Let's go with this. On a scale of 1 to 10, or chance of 1 to 10% chance, what are the chances of seeing Bix back? What is the percent chance out of 100 that we will see Bix Caleen ever again in Star Wars? Honestly, I think it's very, very low. Like, extremely low. Probably like 10% at most on a good day. On a good day. 80%? 5%? Okay. 2%? 3%? I think it's very, very low. I get that Adria wants to come back. Sure, fans want her to come back. But that story was done so well. So perfectly finished off. Like that scene of her. See if I can find that. This scene right here of her with the child, staring off into the distance, waiting for Cassian to come home, which he never will, is exactly where she's going to remain. And I think this is the perfect ending. I really think if they brought her back, it would actually hurt that ending. But let's keep reading. Andor provides such a perfect ending for the character of Bix. But the future is a wide open place. Would you ever pick her up again? That's the question. And her response is this. Right now, in this moment, I'm so satisfied because it's such a beautiful arc and the team is so special, and getting to work with all these actors and directors and Tony Gilroy. So right now I feel really satisfied. I'm really content with what we've created with this second season. But of course, I love her. I have a tattoo of her, and I would obviously die to play her again. So what do we think? Will we ever see her again? If we do see her, it'll be like an Easter egg where she's sitting in a cafe behind something in the background. She won't appear as a main role in a film or anything. Interesting. We will see her child before we see her. Okay. I probably agree with that. A grown-up version of Cassian Jr. I agree with that. Let's actually pull this up. Why not? Do you want to see Bix again in Star Wars? Yes? Why can't I type? Yes or no? You tell me. And while you do, actually, can we get some good cups full of orders in the chat, please? Bum, bum. Revenge of the Sith. Oh, wait. This reminds me of something. Hang on. Bix has a new Sith Lord. Oh, my God. This reminds me of something. I have so many freaking tabs open right now. Close. All right, that's better. That Revenge of the Sith thing reminded me of something. Hang on, before I forget. Yeah, we'll take a look at this next. Okay, what do we think? Bix, yes or no? What do we think? The child coming back in some way, maybe. True. Cassian sacrificed everything for her and her son. She deserves to live the peaceful life. I agree. I think we will see her in more of a flashback, maybe. Ooh, interesting. I'd like that. Maybe. Maybe she'll be at the grocery store. Maybe she'll be a grocery store owner. Oh, I get what you mean now. I was going to say absolutely not, but maybe. Like from Andor Season 2. If we do see her, I'd imagine it would be an animation, like a Tales episode type deal. Maybe. I just feel like Andor Season 2, for so many of those characters that we could possibly see again, like Bix, like Vel, like Clea, I just don't think we ever will, because those characters ended in such a great way, their arcs ended in such a great way, that there's just no reason to do so. You know? Tales of the live-action side characters, I'd watch that. Yeah. We don't know the sex of the baby, so it might not be a junior. I thought we did know. What? I thought we knew it was a boy. Do we not? I'm pretty sure we know it's a boy. But maybe I'm wrong. Tony Gurley said it was a boy. Yeah, that's what I thought. No? Okay. I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to it, but it is unlikely. That's a great answer. Why not have her play a different character in a different Star Wars series or movie? Well, that's something you can't really do. When an actor is a specific character, you can't really recast that same actor to play somebody else unless it's an alien or a robot or a droid. I guess not a robot. A droid or an alien of some sort that doesn't look like a human. Because if it's just Adria looking like Adria again, then that's Bix. Yes, you have Andy Serkis playing Kino Loy in Snoke, but he looks nothing like Snoke. So that's different. Yeah. I could see that, though. Her coming back to play a different Star Wars character. Alien, maybe. Bix was amazing and such a great part of the story, but not all people need to come back. Let the quality rest. Agreed. I don't think we need more of the character. Would it be cool? Sure. Do we need it? I don't think so. Oh, I was going to... Oh, did I say we do? Maybe. Should we do call-ins today, Chet? Somebody mentioned that before the live stream started, and I was like, maybe. Here's what we'll do. If you are not yet in the Discord, there's a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. Go join it immediately. But we'll open up a call-ins thing, and if you guys want to do call-ins, then you can just come in and we'll do them. But if you don't want to, well, then I'll just keep on talking because that's what I guess I'm good at. But if you want to do call-ins, you have to come into the call-in stage on the Discord and raise your hand, and then I'll select you and pop in. Okay. Yeah. I think it's slightly more likely that we'd see Vel or Clea setting up a Bothan spy network or something. I really wonder if they're going to do the whole Bothan thing. I really do. Because, yes, the Bothans are the ones who got the second Death Star plans, but in Legends, they play such a big role past that. Especially in the Heir to the Empire trilogy, like, they play such a huge role with the Heir to the Empire stuff. Sorry, Chad, I got like a weird pinched nerve thing in my shoulder, and it's really pissing me off. And it was doing so well for the first hour and a half of this live stream, and now it's really being annoying. Ow. Okay, sorry. I got distracted. Okay. Okay. So I wonder if they'll ever tell a story with the Bothans. Well, I guess only time will tell. Yeah. You need a force healer for that shoulder? Yeah, I do. I don't know what the hell's up with that. I don't know. We'll see someday. It just is annoying. Tony said that the girl was a baby girl. Really? Or the baby was a baby girl. But in reality, the storyline, for the storyline, it's a boy? I'm confused. So is it a boy or a girl? I want Manny's story. What? In Legends, the Bothans are a pain in the rear. Yeah, they're really annoying. They try to arrest Akbar and they do all this crazy stuff. They're really not the best. No, they're not. They're really not. Yeah. Yeah. I'd be down for that. Okay. Indeed. Okay. Let's oh, this is what I was gonna say. So I just pulled out the Good Cop that Follows Orders, of course, as per usual. And this is the Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary, but they're also doing something else for the Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary, as you can see here. Revenge of the Sith original motion picture soundtrack is now available. Look at this thing. I don't know what motion picture soundtrack means, but it looks like a vinyl of the soundtrack, I guess, of the entire movie. This thing looks awesome. I want one. Sign me up. Oh, wait, it's limited time thing? Somebody in the chat, somebody in the comments says there's only 3,000 of them. Oh, yeah, edition of only 3,000. Damn it. We're definitely way too late for this then. Damn, okay. Okay, fine. Never mind. By the way, this poll, oh my God. 51% to 49%. 51% say you do want to, sorry, 49% say you do want to see Bix again. 51% say no, you don't. It's one of the closest polls we've had in oh my God, it's 50-50 now. It's one of the closest polls we've had in a long time. That's crazy. Okay. Where was I? Oh, by the way, seeing this, so it is Liam Neeson's birthday, but seeing this, me and Sam just finished watching the Mortis God arc. Yes, that's right. We're almost on season 4. Cruising. But the Mortis arc is actually insane. So I love to get, I guess, recaps or I guess refresh my memory for these Clone Wars episodes. But what I thought happened, which I was wrong, was that when they leave Mortis, they forget completely about it. But that's not the case. Anakin just forgets about the stuff that he was shown about him slaughtering younglings and him turning to the dark side and becoming a Darth Vader and Padme dying. Because when he learns all that, he joins the son. But the father makes him forget about that. So Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan all remember the events that happened on Mortis. Ahsoka might not remember going dark and then dying and then coming back to life as the daughter, but they remember almost all the other stuff. So when we're talking about Ahsoka Season 2 and how that's going to involve the Mortis gods and how Ahsoka is pretty much the living embodiment of the daughter, all that is pretty much going to be explained, hopefully, but it's not something that Ahsoka has forgotten because they didn't get their minds wiped. I thought they just forgot about what happened when they left, but they didn't. They remembered all of it, which is pretty interesting. So that was just reminded me because Qui-Gon's Force Ghost is there a bunch, and I forgot about that too. Yeah. By the way, did anybody, completely off topic, but did anybody catch the Star Wars Fortnite event today? The Death Star event today? It was supposed to be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I think. I did not get to watch it, but this was the trailer for it. Take a look at this.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Hit him with everything you've got.
So the Death Star got attacked, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't there for it. I wasn't there for it. But what are you going to do? I wonder if I could still, I could probably watch it on YouTube or something, but I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Oh, and talking about Star Wars video games, the latest and greatest on Battlefront 2, EA has finally recognized and posted something about Battlefront 2. Finally. So, Battlefront 2 is the talk of the galaxy. Join the action on EA Play and see why players are rushing to the front lines. So, finally, after weeks and weeks of silence from EA, this is their response. No, we're making Battlefront 3. Nope, no, none of that. No. Just this. Dom, what's up? How we doing? Just this. So, I mean, maybe someday we'll get the announcement that they're making Battlefront 3, but today is not that day, seemingly. And yes, this is the first official confirmation that EA is paying attention to Battlefront 2. Obviously, they see that the viewership numbers have spiked up, and every single comment section of all their posts say, make Battlefront 3 happen. Clearly, that's caught their attention, but that's their first time actually doing anything about it and posting something about it, which is pretty cool. Some fan, I believe this is just a fan. I'm not too sure who this is. Yeah, I think it's just some fan. So this fan rented a poster, or a billboard, rented a billboard and put this on it. This is how great Star Wars fans are. We need a create your own character Star Wars game. I agree with that. We need like GTA, but Star Wars on Coruscant, and you can create your own character. That would be insane. That would be insane. Alex, what's up? How we doing? Yeah. But that's the latest and greatest on Battlefront 3. Not too much to go there, but still pretty dang cool. Pretty dang cool. Oh, and here's our final death list, by the way. To create the New Hope, to give Luke Skywalker a fighting chance at destroying the Death Star, here's our final death list. This was a lot shorter before Season 2. He wasn't on it. She wasn't on it. He wasn't on it. He wasn't on it. I guess it wasn't that shorter. But still. Andor killed off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, those are Rogue One characters. 6. Who's that? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 characters that were all important to the rebellion in one way, shape, or form. Oh, wow. Somebody said in the comments, you're missing Kanan Jarrus. That's very true. Damn. Oh, that's Clem. Oh, it's Cassian's dad. Yeah. There you go. Mike, everyone died. You're welcome. Hey, not everybody. Clay is still out there. Bix is still out there. Vel. Not everybody died. I want to see Qui-Gon Jinn in the Kenobi Season 2, focusing on them and Yoda exploring the Force and the Wills. Wellsprings of the Force contacting the other Jedi in the hidden path. I'd be down for that. There's plenty of opportunities, and we talked about it earlier with Darth Krayt in Asherat Het, but getting to see, because you need a villain, you need a conflict. You can't just have him training to be a Force Ghost the entire season after you gave us one of the greatest rematches ever in Season 1. But there are plenty of stories to tell. I guess there's really only one. There's one great story to tell with Kenobi Season 2, and I think they should do it too. But that's just me. Yeah. I guess Kino died. Yeah, there's no real confirmation that he died or not, but he's not in Season 2, and it's like, he's pretty much dead. Yeah. He's a goner. Yeah. We need more Bendu content. I'd love to see the Bendu more, but I don't know. Where would we see him? maybe in the Mandoverse, but well, Thrawn does have a sort of history with the Bendu. It'd be crazy if they brought the Bendu into live action. That'd be so wild. I'd be down for it, but that'd be a surprise to be sure. A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. All right, we talked about that. We talked about that. We talked about that. Okay, so here's sort of the recap. I liked this. Somebody put this perfectly, actually, here. This is sort of the recap of the news of the Starfighter movie and the Mia Goth stuff. So here it is. Come from Crave Culture Crave. Details on the Shawn Levy Star Wars Starfighter. Ryan Gosling plays a character protecting his young nephew from evil persuaders. Evil persuaders. Mia Goth is playing one of the villains, set around 5 years after Episode 9, which was pretty much 10 years before the Rey movie. Brings back some sequel characters, probably in the end, or probably just side characters, and releases May 28th, 2027. And that's about it. Shawn Levy will direct. And that's really it. But with that information, before today, all we knew was Ryan Gosling, Shawn Levy, and 5 years after 9. But other than that, all this is new. All this is great. Protecting young nephew from evil persuaders. My hopes have gotten really high for this movie. There's no reason to greenlight this and push it so far up above all these other movies, above Dawn of the Jedi, above the Rey movie, above Simon Kinberg's trilogy, if it's not ready to go, if it's not really, really good. So I got very, very high hopes. Very, very high hopes. But with that being said, I do have to get on out of here. Oh, I really got to pee. But no, I got to go get something to eat too. But I appreciate you all so much more than you'll ever know. Go check. Wait. Before we actually get on out of here, I posted a community poll to tab today. Check this thing out. So the tab today was. Wait, what? Oh, the tab today was. What's the most underrated Star Wars project? So it's already over 5,000 votes, and this was from earlier today. Rogue One is currently in the lead with 44%. Star Wars Rebels is second, 27%. Solo is still at 20%. In Other is 9%. So in Other, the 4 I put here were Andor, Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett, and Kenobi. All these are very underrated projects. I mean, to me, I think Rebels is probably the most. I think Rogue One, it's underrated to an extent. Like, it's not usually thrown in the conversation with best Star Wars movies all time when it really, really should be. So that's why I put it in the underrated conversation. But I think it's honestly the order that I have it in. It's Rebels, Rogue One, Solo, and then Other. I think Ahsoka's very underrated. I think Andor's very underrated. Book of Boba Fett's underrated. I pretty much put it in the order that I think. Rebels, Rogue One, Solo, Ahsoka, Andor, Boba Fett, Kenobi. Yeah. But there you have it. So go vote on that if you have not already. Go check that on out. I'm working on something really, really cool. I don't think it'll be done by tomorrow, but this week, I promise by the end of this week, it will be done and it will be awesome. And it will be opening the door for some very cool things on the channel. Because there won't be a Star Wars show for a while until Rebuild the Galaxy Season 2 and Visions Volume 3. 2026 is going to be an insane year. But this summer is going to be the summer of craziness on the channel. Of what ifs. What can I tell you? And what can I keep a secret? I'm going to be like Lucasfilm and keep a lot of secrets. What ifs, secrets, and other. Yes. And of course, Star Wars news as per usual. Like this, like Mia Goth coming to Star Wars as the new villain, and more plot leaks for different Star Wars projects. Probably some trailers for the Maul series and the teaser trailer for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie finally being released publicly. That'll be great. That'll hopefully happen this summer. We shall see. But that's for another time, I suppose. So until then, I hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives. I might be, and I emphasize might, be streaming some Battlefront 2 later on tonight on the Eggs Gaming channel. So if you're not yet over there, let me send the link in the chat really quickly. If you're not subscribed to the Eggs Gaming channel yet, first of all, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for, but if we get to 1 million subscribers in the Eggs Gaming channel, I will tell you what the Eggs stands for. So go subscribe to that. We are at 54 subscribers. We are nowhere close to 1 million, but we'll be doing some more streaming on that channel, a lot more. So I promise. Until then, smash a freaking like in the stream. How many likes do we have, chat? How many likes do we have? Oh, I forgot about the Collins. Was anybody in the Collins thing trying to raise their hand? Because that would be sad. I apologize. We're going to have to make Collins more of a consistent thing so I don't keep forgetting about it. But, yeah. Damn it. Okay. Smash a freaking like in the stream if you have not already. Hit that subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified every time I post a video in my pretty face. We'll show up in the recommended feed of yours. We will be doing a members only live stream very, very soon. I haven't decided what day of the week yet, but we'll figure it out. So until then, watch out for it if you are a member. And yeah, may the force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you all so much more than you will ever know. This was, I mean, doesn't get much better than this, chat. It really doesn't. Talking Star Wars on a Saturday night with the people who love Star Wars. Literally nothing better. But I appreciate you all so much more than you'll ever know. Oh, we had a few. We'll do a next stream. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. But until then, I hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives. I appreciate the hearts. I really, really do. And good night, everybody.